Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. With laughter and stories, come what may.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. You got to hear all about the sports update. The World Series is tied at 1 game apiece, and now we're going to be talking about other stuff that you should be interested in, not the MLB, but more like the PSS. And joining us in studio today, we have the board chair for the public school system. Holy cow, Kodep Ogumoro-Uludong. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Ooh,
there we go. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you back in studio. And I know that there's a lot you got going on. You've been doing a lot of stuff since the last time that we had you in here, too. And it was great to see you yesterday at the festival. That was really cool. What a day for all the kids and everything out there.
It was great. I was very excited that we had an opportunity through our CCLHS program to highlight our Chamorro and Carolinian cultures, and props to the program managers, Mrs. De Leon Guerrero, Ms. Pua, the OCI director, Dr. Rizalina, and of course our commissioner for putting a great event together. I know that we ran into each other that morning. It was a wet day.
Man, so here's what happened. First of all, you guys led off with a great parade, right? That was amazing. Seeing all the kids out there having a great time. The teachers, there were parents out there. Polkside was out there too, right? So it was awesome to see the excitement. And then you get in there, you have the big opening ceremonies, you're going to start doing everything. I'm like, all right, I got to go change, get ready for my next thing. I'm going to grab something to eat. And the skies open up and you guys got the ultimate blessing in the form of rain.
Right. Actually, I took my niece down that morning, and just to be more efficient with our attendance there, we parked at the school and then walked to the Carolinian Ut, where the parade was starting. So I got my extra steps in, and then headed with the whole delegation to Garapan Elementary School. And you're right, the heavens opened up, and it was a downpour. But yeah, I was happy to be there to help open up the festivities for the day. I too. There's been a bug going around. Yeah. So I was not feeling well at all. So I hung out for about an hour, and then I had to head home. But the turnout looked great, and I saw some really nice pictures from the day. And I know that there were a lot of demonstrations and performances. But yeah, and I think just to add a note to that, and this is something too that I had brought up in our last board meeting that took place on Tinian 2 weeks ago, and that is a conversation that I've been having with different stakeholders about my interest in really expanding the cultural program at the public school system. Wow. And of course in partnership with different collaborating agencies. But I think the idea is, and this goes back to, last year when I was campaigning and talking to you about some of my priorities, but over the year I've seen the need to really expand our cultural studies, not just in language, but in performing art, visual art, civics. The commissioner knows what a priority it is for me to ensure that we really expand instruction in our covenant and our constitution and our history. So I think that's an area too that we could use enhancement, and I've already brought it up to the board, and so we're going to continue those conversations and hopefully get something more solid together in the next couple months.
Well, I can tell you that there is a lot of interest in it because when we post up videos and we post up stories and all that, you can see like the ones that really get they catch on, right, or go viral or something, right? But it's the reactions tell a different story too. Like when you get a lot of likes or loves or whatever it is on there. That parade just in itself got so much response from the community, and that tells me that it's not just because of that one video or something like that, and it's not just the parade. I think that people really love that the culture is being celebrated.
Right, and it's a pride, right? It's a pride thing in our culture, in who we are, and a reflection too on what we value here in our community. And then on top of that, the cherry on top of that is just the wonderful diversity we have in our community, yeah? But also an opportunity to celebrate who we are as Chamorros and Carolinians and the rest of our community. And it's so wonderful to see too. While I was marching in the parade, it was wonderful. My niece was walking with a Chinese classmate of hers together with his mom. And it was also nice to see along the parade route, parents were just so excited and proud. And so that, they ran up ahead and waited for us to pass, and they were taking pictures and filming. So it was great. It was a wonderful event.
I absolutely loved it, and I know that the full day of events and everything was great. It's tough. There's so much going on. That was probably one of the bigger weekends we've had in Saipan for a long time, but one of the best, like just a great celebration of local culture, and it was open to everybody. It was free to everybody, and I hope you guys do that all the time.
Absolutely. I do want to add too, I think it was early in the summer, the CCLHS program managers together with the different instructors from across our school system, they rounded up their students and brought them to Guam for the Micronesian Cultural Festival, I believe it was, being celebrated at Ipao Beach. And I'll tell you, our students really hit the mark, really displayed our culture and our performances and our art. I would say better than the other island groups that were represented there. And then they elicited the most response from the crowd that was there. So that was really exciting to see the talent. And in fact, just last week, and I shout out, I don't know if they have a name for their band, but there were 3 young men from Saipan Southern High School. And they just had their guitars, and they were singing just some amazing classics, classic Chamorro songs from the 80s with that sound in their voice that you could tell was kind of harkened back to that time, just sort of classic. It almost felt like 50s and 60s kind of tone to it. I'll send you the clip and maybe you can play it on your show, but they were just so talented, and I felt really good listening to them perform, and they wowed the crowd. So shout out to Southern.
Must have brought the house down.
They did. It was great.
Oh, well, we might as well talk a little bit about some of these things. PSS is going to have some interesting times, but there might be some good news. Right, I can tell you that I heard from a lot of teachers over the weekend at different events. There's, everybody's everywhere over the weekends. People are worried about what's going on and what the budget's going to do, about the schedule, about the pay, and how they're trying to adjust. I know it's everybody across the CNMI, right? But because you're with PSS and we could talk about it, but I know people everywhere are thinking about it and already experiencing the pinch, right? And the teachers, it's going to be a new thing for them. That like one of them was like, we're going to have to make like $900 less every month now. I'm like, whoa, can you imagine, losing that much, from your house while you're going through austerity? And they're like, we're just going to have to figure it out. We're just going to have to make it work.
Right. It's these are some precarious times right now, and also thanks for having me on today. I did want to come on too, and as much as I can, also reassure, our stakeholders and our parents, our students, that, we've been monitoring this very closely. Really, the situation we're in is really a function too of our economy, yeah, and what's happened over the past year. Not to mention, we're in the middle of a federal shutdown right now, but we're definitely cognizant of what's happening. I know that over the past several months, the commissioner, with the first round of town hall meetings, and then the second round, during which I was able to join him, was really being very clear about the resources that are available to the public school system, and the level of those resources that are really just based on actual collections and projections by the central government. And in those conversations with the stakeholders, it was also made very clear too that our position and the position of the State Board of Education, that now more than ever we're going to be watching very closely to ensure that what is due to the public school system as mandated by the Constitution. Now more than ever, we want to ensure that we get that amount. I think at the end of the day, Brad, we really want to preserve classroom time, and first and foremost is our students and teachers, classroom instruction, contact hours, and then all of the necessary supports around that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been quite a journey over the past several months, and it's something too that we're very concerned about. But we also want to reassure everyone that as much as we can, these are tough times. We're not the only ones going through this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's any consolation to anyone, but really we are very concerned, and we want to make sure that we preserve and protect that classroom time. And so the commissioner has a really solid team working with him to really be creative and find ways to address some of those gaps in instruction time. And over the next couple days this week, as the conversations with the legislature and the administration continue, that's something too that we're watching closely, and we want to reassure the community that we are in this together, and we care very much about the sanctity of instruction and classroom time, to ensure that our students continue to get that level of instruction that they deserve, and that we want to make sure we secure and fight for.
Well, and you, when I was talking about a little bit of good news, you were sharing that today there's a little bit of good news, at least, with regards to how those kids are going to be enjoying those classrooms.
Right. So this morning, and people see the memo, but a memo came out from the commissioner's office after some review of the previous energy austerity measures that were implemented, the 5-hour AC running. He did send out a memo this morning adjusting that schedule to ensure comfort during instructional hours. And so basically all the schools are now going to be allowed to get their AC units running from 7:30 to 4:30.
Wow.
So
that's a game
silver,
changer.
yeah, silver lining in this time. I know it's been extremely difficult since the initial implementation of those AC hours, and so that's just a little bit of a silver lining at this time right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've got enough that they're going through between the students and the teachers, I love that the priority is going to be on the teachers, or sorry, on the students, and that classroom time, and that so at least that's one less thing the teachers got to worry about. Ann was saying, hey, this came in a bit ago, but she was saying, hey, if not already, I think bilingual classes should consist of gardening and cooking and not just language. And she asked, she's like, do they still have bilingual classes?
They do. They
Yeah.
do. And I think to that end, and that was also another point that I forgot to mention as well in this conversation about an expanded cultural studies program. And that is also to incorporate conservation and agriculture and fishing
Wow.
into that curriculum and see how we can really incorporate again, more of our practical island living into our instruction. Pivoting just a little, Brad,
Yeah.
last week I was having a great conversation. I don't know if you know Captain Mike Bacher.
I do.
Okay, so we were on a call, and I was really just sharing how impressed I am with his program, the Western Pacific Maritime Academy, and the great merchant mariners that he's producing. And I think that's also one area too that I want to revisit and ensure that we're providing enough supports so that we can get our students getting into that training and that trade. And he's done such a great job in keeping the emphasis on the opportunities available upon completion of their program. And he likes to mention again and again, and so it's kind of stuck in my head. But right after completing the program, starting pay is 60,000 per annum, 60,000 a year.
And that schedule that they get is great too. That's where they get like those guys with the pre-position ships, right?
Right.
4 months on, 4 months off, right? Or at least a couple months off.
I'm still learning about the program.
Yeah.
But right now my interest is in supporting it so that we continue to allow that opportunity for our students to take advantage and get that training and certification so that they can avail.
But they get that money the whole time either way. That's what the great
Right,
thing is.
right.
And then on top of that, when you got that money and you're on the ship for that long, because it's 7 days a week when you're on your shift, right? So that is all your living expenses, your food, your everything that you would need, utilities, all that. That's all paid for because you're on the ship. So it's not just 60,000 to start like on day one. It's 60,000 without having to pay for all that other stuff.
Well, you seem to know more than me, but yeah, it's a great program.
It's a great life. Well, it's like, without being in the military, it's the closest thing, right? Because in the military, whatever money you make, and it's not great. But again, all your meals, all your housing, all your insurance, all your utilities, you name it, it's all taken care of. So whatever you make, you just make.
Right, take home.
And then you get to shop on the base. So it's good stuff.
Good stuff.
So you got some good stuff there too. I saw that in the memo too, about one of the things that in that memo that we got from last week was that schools were going to be closed on Mondays now, right? Starting November 1st.
Right. November 3rd.
November
next
3rd.
week, Monday.
Wow.
There's still going to be additional guidance coming out over the past several weeks. One of the discussion points was, again, how to fill the gaps on those Mondays. And so there is some finalizing on how instruction and enrichment programs can take place on Mondays. I know that the commissioner is still finalizing those details. Tomorrow, the board has a special meeting at 1 o'clock to approve the revised implementation plan that he's presented. And then again, it's just really a wait and see as far as where the administration is going with this new revised budget proposal that was submitted, which the good news is at a higher level than the initial budget that was passed into law on October 1.
Okay, well, so maybe it might not cut into the class time as much, or there might still be.
There are going to be some cuts again. The last school year and the last fiscal year, we were operating on a $48 million budget. Yeah, and that, when you compare that to the current implemented budget law, we're at 31. And the Governor Apatang's proposed budget for PSS in this new revised proposal is at 37 for PSS. So a lot of moving parts here, and so it's been difficult. And I know that I do give credit to the commissioner for just trying to manage all these different scenarios. Yeah. And seeing how we can make do with what eventually gets decided on as our final budget.
Well, I'm not intimately familiar with all of the details and the structure with everything at PSS, but what I hear a lot of from educators who are out there is that PSS is so top heavy, and I hear it a lot. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that's fair, or if that's just people looking to find blame on what's going on. But that's it. That's the thing they're talking about. They're so top heavy.
That is a persistent perception, and I want to say that there is some truth to that. And that's why too, as we've arrived at the point that we're at now, I think one thing to make clear though, and this is something that Commissioner has also emphasized, is that we do need a strong school district to support each of the 20 schools and the various Head Start centers. But I did call it out, in several meetings, board and just one-on-ones with the commissioner and his team, that there is this snagging perception that PSS is top-heavy. When you look at the current budget law and the requirements that were implemented by the legislature as far as, how the local funding was going to be spent, they made it very clear in the current budget law that 96% of that funding was going to go straight to the schools. And I think that's also a result of that perception. What's happening right now, and after we're through this budget journey, we are going to be working closely with the commissioner on a reorganization. I think one of the things too that I also personally didn't expect when I came on board, I was really just focused on my interest in curriculum, what we're teaching our kids. But then when I got on board, I realized, wow, this PSS is it's pretty much the largest agency in the CNMI, and so there are just so many facets to it, so many moving pieces. One thing that I'd like the community to also understand too is there are a lot of the positions in central office are also federally funded, but there's definitely been concern about equity in terms of compensation, and so that's something that the board is also looking at, and something I too have been looking at myself, and Vice Chair Barcinas as the two newest members to the board. We're very cognizant too of what our own constituents have been sharing with us in terms of their own concerns, and so I know that my presence has been felt as far as my own concerns not only on the board itself, but with the commissioner and his team and central office and across the schools, that I'm definitely someone that's very focused on equity, and then of course not to mention, transparency and accountability. And so while it's not, front and center and in the news, there has been a lot going on behind the scenes in terms of what we've been doing on the board to continue supporting the system, supporting our schools, and that recognition too, that our teachers are critical. And to that end, in fact, one thing I wanted to share with the community too is, back in May, one of the biggest concerns I got was this clause within all employment contracts that any employee could be not renewed without cause. And so I worked with my colleagues on the board, and we passed a resolution essentially getting rid of that, so that now there has to be cause for any kind of non-renewal. And what that did was it really removed like this sense of fear that was present in the schools, in central office. So I want to say that that's one of the achievements that I'm also proud of.
Well, it also, that helps empower the teachers to try to make a difference. Aside from in the lives of the students, a lot of the teachers have not said things because that they thought maybe weren't being done the right way, because of the fear of not being renewed. Because if they do bring something up, well, all of a sudden they're not going to get renewed for their contract next time it comes up, right?
Absolutely. And I was humbled because actually, in fact, at the cultural festival on Saturday, I ran into some folks that I don't normally see around. Employees of the system, a couple of them teachers, but people come up to me, and they say that my efforts have not gone unnoticed, and that they are very appreciative that those are some of the priorities that I'm trying to work through to ensure that people feel protected, and so that's one area that I think within the system we continue to work on and improve, and that is employee protections.
All right, this is not about any one person, but I know I'm thinking about it as just one position. I know the expense is probably not super massive, but maybe there was a time we needed to bring people in from off island to do things like to be like a commissioner or something like that. But we don't need that now, right? We've got qualified local folks who can be here and everything. At least I remember that part of the compensation for the commissioner was a vehicle that was being taken care of. Is that something that we still need, do you think?
I have to look into that. I'm not sure that that's a benefit. You might know more than me, but I don't know. I can absolutely look into it and get back to you on that.
It's just part. So it is part of my little things. Like as we're looking at all the reality of our economic situation now, right? Like like the director of so and so gets this, or the company vehicle for this, and all this other stuff. And I remember for years the commissioners of PSS would get the vehicles also, and there were leases that were charged to PSS. And there's not a single school that's inaccessible by a regular car or something like that. But they've got like some tinted 4-wheel drives and stuff like that. It's like, why in the world would would PSS be spending money on that vehicle for and the fuel, right? For somebody who's running the schools?
Brad, I really can't speak to that until I look into it and confirm that that's actually the case. But yeah, I'm happy to get back to you on that
Yeah, it's
point.
so we're going all out. Hey, I know you got other stuff. I didn't see it in the meeting, but I saw the story too. Last one is this this restroom thing. I don't know what that was about, but I saw some. Is it changing all of them to like Ally McBeal style? That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut for you younger viewers.
I know you're dating us.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that's an ongoing conversation. I don't know that with the time I have available that I could really speak to that. So I'd actually like to pivot a little and perhaps use the rest of my time to focus on some other priorities that I wanted to share on. And one of them speaks to, you know, this question too about some of the benefits, that certain employees are enjoying, if you will, but really as a result of what you're hearing. And that is that one of the things that I'm going to be proposing at our next board meeting, and I have to give credit to, I've met a lot of amazing folks during my time on the board, other state board members from especially Guam that I've worked closely with over the past year. But that is the Guam Department of Education. I believe 2 years ago they actually launched a hotline that is housed with their internal auditor to receive complaints and concerns from the community that's completely anonymous, similar to OPA's website. And so that's something too that we're working on so that we can more efficiently receive complaints and concerns, particularly from people who don't who want to remain anonymous. But that way too, we have an efficient way of receiving them. I tell you, Brad, I get so many calls, and I'm happy to receive the calls. That's my job. I'm here to help, not to micromanage, but I have to say that a lot of the work that I've done and the improvements that I've helped to make at the board level that have impacted the system in positive ways have really been from the community sharing them with me. And so I do want to thank members of our community out there that have really placed their trust in me in terms of being able to feel like they can share without risking any kind of backlash or retaliation. So that's one thing. Another thing that we're working on is back in July, I had attended the annual Micronesian Islands Forum. I was part of the CNMI delegation, and I went with Governor Apatang and the CNMI delegation. And at the forum, I proposed that CNMI was going to host the first Micronesian Regional Education Summit. So that's coming up next spring.
Wow.
In April. Yes, very exciting. And the exciting part about it is we're really going to provide a platform for our youth leaders. I think if you talk to people that have been following the work that I've been doing while I've been on the board, that has really been about elevating our youth leaders and their voices. The last time I was on your show, I don't know if you recall, but I was on a call because I was on Guam at the time. And that was when we were attending the UOG Sustainability Conference. And at that conference, before the conference, I rounded up all of the student council presidents from all the high schools across all 3 islands, and not just the high schools, but even the junior high schools. So Hopwood, Cha-Cha, Tinian Middle School, Tanapak Middle School, their STUCO presidents also joined us, and our youth leaders had such a great time. It was an amazing learning experience, amazing networking experience for them. And so what's going to happen is at this education summit that we're going to be hosting, we're really going to be highlighting their voices, their ideas, their position, and just we have such amazing talent on our island that I'm just so proud of. A couple months ago, I had the commissioner and his team also put together the first CNMI STEM showcase, because I was seeing all these great teams, and not just from our public schools, but also our private schools. And I want to make special mention too of SIS and Mount Carmel. But we have just such amazing, intelligent, talented students that were going out there showcasing their STEM skills. And so we were able to get them all into one place to present on all their amazing robotics, apps that they were developing. The team from Southern High had developed an app to teach basically toddlers how to speak Chamorro. How amazing is that?
Wow.
Yeah. And then the rest of the teams were showing us all their sort of really neat, like, drones that they had created and built to just do different functions.
Man, if they could teach toddlers Chamorro, there's hope for me.
I'll link you up with the team.
Yes,
you can share the app.
We will be teammates. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. This is great. I know you said you got something at 9 o'clock, and you were saying that you had to be out at 8:40. We only got about 90 seconds to hit that time. So, do you want to squeeze anything in there?
I don't know if you have any burning questions that are coming in, but I really just wanted to reassure, our teachers, our students, our parents, our community. We're all in this together. These are going to be some rough times ahead of us. We're going to need to buckle down, but at the same time, I want our stakeholders and our community to know that we're here. We're very cognizant of the need and the importance of continuing the work that we're required to do, and that is to provide quality education to our students. And so I just want to say that I'm very reassured that we have a great team at PSS that is really working to address those gaps. And so while we're entering this 64-hour austerity period, the story's not quite over. And so, in the coming days and weeks, there's going to be more advice and information on how that's going to go about and how we're going to be able to ensure that we provide gap fillers to those Mondays so that we can work best to provide that education on those austerity Mondays. So that's still being finalized.
Maybe it's a great time to make that plug. There's a lot of kids who a core part of their nutrition every school year is being able to eat those school lunches or the breakfast programs and all that stuff. But PSS has a plan for that. Right.
And so Mr. Dale Roberts of the Child Nutrition Program that is funded by USDA has come out with a schedule for grab-and-go meals for those austerity Mondays. And so we're so fortunate that we still have access to those resources to continue providing meals to our students. I know that with this federal shutdown, there's also been interruption too in NAP benefits. As of right now, I don't know what impact, if any, that's going to have because just like our child nutrition program, NAP is also supported by USDA. So as of right now, unless something came out over the weekend that I'm not aware of, I do know that there are arrangements being made to ensure that meals are still provided on those off days.
Well, that's great. That is great. We got that memo. Thought that was great. Juan was in there saying, thank you, Kodep, for supporting our students and supporting our teachers. So thanks, Juan.
Thanks, Juan.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, I want to say thanks so much for coming in. Any shout outs to anybody on before you go?
Gosh,
Where to be?
to our hardworking teachers, our unsung heroes, I've really gained even more respect for our teachers and our classroom aides and our SPED aides. They're such hard workers, and our classroom aides, man, definitely shout out to them. They have very hard jobs, and unfortunately, the pay scale isn't where we, obviously like it to be, but they still continue working to support our teaching staff and to support our SPED students. And so, yeah, really that shout out goes to our teacher aides.
That's great. Well, Kodep, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Giving us some updates on everything. I know you guys have been doing a lot of great work, and being able to hear it from you firsthand is just awesome.
Thanks for having me, and I look to, coming back a little bit more frequently. But,
yes.
there's some exciting things in the works, and we just got to get through this hump right now. But really for our people and our community to stay positive and know that we're all in this canoe together, and we all just have to help each other. Yeah. And myself and my colleagues on the board, we really want to ensure that we continue doing our job to provide that support that our commissioner and the entire system needs to keep functioning and serving our community.
Well, we're here for you, and you're here for everybody, so it works out great.